on this rap-ish. I ain't even broke a sweat, homie, this practice. Pondering my next move, staring at my track list. Hope I ain't missing my window. Praying like a Baptist, Seattle's own. Tired of this Game of Thrones. They made a list of the best rappers, and guess who wasn't on? While the disrespect continues, I'm steady packing these venues. Guess if you ain't at the table, you on the menu. And I'm that spitter, baby. They don't want you to see, but everybody's south of Capitol Hill's rocking with me. Boys smoke the trays and ponder getting their life together. I'm comfortable with my role, so I'm like, whatever. Me? I ain't got a job, but I work hard. And you don't work hard, but you got a job. The irony is I'm judged while you feel the applause. I'm slept on, that's why I had to set this alarm. My dudes is armed, I'm armed with this arm charm. Body banging like she got that cream from Barry Bonds. Yeah.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
That Dre season is here, a real hitter with a mic, I'm everything that they fear. With that hood ain't the same, I was all on their ass, I'm level-headed. So yo, my dudes love when I spaz, and I'm so over Seattle's passive-aggressive attitude. They don't call you back, what they really saying is F you. While I'm from the same place, I move at a different pace. I prefer if you just said it to my face, damn, I did it.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it
I
for
hate these
us.
average dudes with they average spit, writing average rhymes, knocking average chicks. The closer I get, I can feel the people starting to shift. I'm loyal to a fault, and everybody can't come with. Rap's a rich man's game, I'm only playing with change. They bang models and singers, I'm knocking my own flame, I'm different. The crowd, I move with the chosen few. Black thoughts, I could be the front man for the roots. No diamonds and gold, I'm on my sticks and stones. If we can see your panty line, you should have on a thong. My team is strong, through this fire we forged a bond. And they already know what it is when I get on. To the hearse, party like it's December 31st. When I'm on my deathbed, I'm probably cracking my nurse. You ain't got the bars to compete, I'm a verbal athlete. Deflating these boys so they say that I cheat. Damn, I did it.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
Yeah. I should probably start by apologizing for the long wait, man. You know, I know I be tripping. But I'm not just a rapper, I'm an artist. And, you know, my creative process is a little bit different than most. Nonetheless, I want to welcome everybody out to the Dre's Experience. I got TCF in the building. My whole camp's here with me. I got the band in here laying this cool-ass vibe. And I'm Seattle's own. Let's get into it.
On October 23rd, we unveiled the new Converge Media Studios to Stephanie Johnson Tolliver of the Black Heritage Society of Washington State, who along with Damon Brown of Creative Lou, designed our interview wall with epic images of Seattle's black community of yesteryear from the late Al Smith's photography collection and Mohai. We often speak about our past, our community, our culture, our traditions. Though times have changed for us here in the Emerald City, Converge Media is firmly rooted in our history and grounded in our legacy while focused on the future. We want to say thank you to all of you who support Converge Media. Just know that you are the difference. You made this studio possible, and because of you, we continue to grow and thrive in our purpose. So be on the lookout for new, impactful, and educational programming from Converge Media. And remember, Black media matters.
All right, good morning. Welcome to the Morning Update Show. Back here live in our studios in downtown Seattle. My name is Omari Salisbury, joined today by Jake Grabbride.
Good morning. Feel like long time no see.
Long time no see here in this studio, though.
Indeed.
I think it's almost 8-9 days.
Yeah.
This is the longest we've been out of studio for a while.
How you feeling?
I feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel good. That was such a transformational trip down there to Belize, and of course we'll be talking about that today, amongst other things. Talking about it for a while. We got a lot of footage. Speaking of a lot of footage, you got a lot of footage down there.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing about going back through footage and cataloging things. You're essentially just kind of reliving every day, and we clocked a lot of activities and documentation of what we were doing down there. So there's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, and so for people wondering out there, when I said we were on vacation, that was definitely a working
Oh yeah.
a working vacation. Like our days were packed, my friend. Like 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. But we're gonna get more into that. We'll talk about that a little bit more here with Jake this morning. Also, it was crazy last week because just hours before we were departing, my mom was assaulted just right like 100 feet here from the studio. So we'll talk about that as well and some other headlines. But first of all, let me dive right into it. Want to welcome you to the Morning Update Show and remind you that right now is the perfect time for you to tag and share the stream. Tag and share the stream with people who you feel would appreciate culturally relevant news and information emanating from right here in the Emerald City. Want to give a big shout out to our partners over at the South Seattle Emerald and KBCS 91.3 over at Bellevue College. A reminder that you can listen to the Morning Update Show anywhere that you listen to your favorite podcast. Then you got SoundCloud. There it is. SoundCloud's up there on the screen, but you can also find us on Google, Spotify, and iTunes. All you have to do is search Converge Media Network. Also, a reminder to you that the COVID-19 vaccine, and maybe we'll talk a little bit about this as well. COVID-19 vaccine is readily available right here in Martin Luther King County. We're going to put a link in the comments over there. If you need to get vaccinated or you need a booster shot or you need a test, and we found out all about the testing, right, and traveling, you can click the link right there and get more information on that. You can also, if you still have questions as well, a lot of vaccine hesitancy that's out there. We're leaving a lot of space and grace for that. You can find questions or answers and things like that on that website. Also, reach out to us. We've been talking to people about vaccine hesitancy. Send me an email, omari@whereweconverge.com. Speaking of COVID-19 and everything else, now it's the Omicron variant. So it's a new thing. And, man, people are shutting their borders literally to 7 African nations. And, the government of South Africa is crying foul because they're like, yo, we did our job and warned the world, like, hey, we're seeing a variant. People are closing their borders over there. And what the African countries are saying is like, yo, maybe closing the borders isn't always the answer. Maybe they should have access to more vaccine.
Absolutely. I've seen that talk and I hear that talk and I completely understand that talk. It seems as if we were so quick to immediately shut down borders, but we've still got a long way to go just within our own country as far as figuring out the vaccinations and getting people up to speed on that. And even if you're not somebody who is down to get vaccinated, we've had to in the last couple of weeks get tested multiple times just to be able to travel. And I think even just within responsibly, being a citizen of the city in this country is like even just getting tested to make sure that you're good.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I mean, we oftentimes we're looking at COVID-19 in a very local sense. Like, I mean, you would, but I mean, this is something that's impacting here globally. And you got to remember, there's so much vaccine that's created. I remember we did a story a few months ago where Canada has enough vaccine to vaccinate each person 5 times. That's how much they've purchased and everything else. But for people, I mean, this is really an interconnected society that we're living in here. It's really a global society. I mean, we really need to look at how do we get other countries vaccinated as well, because we can't just keep opening borders, closing borders.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
All right. Moving on, some sad news that's coming out of the world of fashion. And really out of the world of entrepreneurship as well. And man, this hit a lot of people hard yesterday. Virgil Abloh, he was the first Black, I'm going to get it right, like creative director over at Louis Vuitton.
Yeah, just an absolutely universally respected creative. I think it was T-Dub who I was talking to last night that put something up about just seeing the outpouring of love coming in for Virgil. But it's so sad. Another story kind of similar to Chadwick Boseman, where there was an illness and it wasn't really spoken about, and all of a sudden he passes away from it.
Right. We got a clip right here from CBS Mornings.
This morning, we're remembering fashion designer Virgil Abloh. Abloh was a groundbreaking streetwear artist who became the first Black man to be an artistic director for Louis Vuitton. He was just 41 years old when he died yesterday of cancer. Tributes are pouring in from other big names in the fashion and entertainment industry. Our national correspondent, Jerika Duncan, has more on Abloh's lasting impact, which came from his firm belief in his own talent.
those things that hold you back from sort of executing on your dream are myths.
For Virgil Abloh, there was plenty that could have held him back. The first-generation American whose parents immigrated from Ghana had no formal fashion training. Instead, he graduated with an engineering degree and a master's in architecture.
I did not ever think that I could be a designer with a capital D because no one looked like me, just plain and simple.
It was after meeting and working with Kanye West, now known as Ye, that Abloh became a staple in fashion. His designs were on the cover of magazines, down the wedding aisle, and even on the tennis court. And just months ago, Abloh became the most powerful black executive at one of the most powerful luxury brands when his own label, Off-White, was acquired by Louis Vuitton's parent company.
Being at Vuitton, I think it's super profound on a business and CEO and management levels. Like, if you find a creative that's passionate, they'll carry the baton.
But Abloh was an artist beyond just high fashion. He worked on sneakers, water bottles, art exhibits, and even spent time as a DJ.
I hope that through my narrative, people see that in themselves, that anything is achievable and there's different genres are just made to be jumped over.
He put that hope into action by creating a $1 million scholarship fund to bring more black students into the fashion industry.
Let's make the world that we wanted to see. Like, I'm legitimately like, who can we empower next?
Abloh's cancer diagnosis in 2019 was unknown to the public. In a statement, his family said his work ethic was infinite. It was curiosity and optimism that never wavered since his diagnosis. The CEO of Louis Vuitton, Moet Hennessy, called Abloh a visionary and a man with a beautiful soul. He is survived by his wife and 2 children. And to look back at some of those interviews, he was just such a force, such a positive person, and always knew the importance of giving back.
A visionary and a beautiful soul. It's a great description, and one that you would always hope to have in one's passing. But 41 years old, cancer, it just seems really unfair.
Yeah, and he impacted a lot of people directly or indirectly. I know, like, the arts community here, I'll be honest with everybody, people could probably tell by my Target wardrobe and my promo shirts I get. Big shout out Sean Good, Choose 180. I'm not a big fashion head, so I was totally unaware of him and his work and everything else. I look at everybody else who's in the art world and things in fashion and like, wow.
Yeah, he's definitely one of those, if you know, kind of individuals. And it was, really cool to see. If you go through comments on, the last Instagram post that was posted, you always have a chance to see the way that people memorialize somebody's life in those comments, and they were just coming from all over the place. So it's really unfortunate. It's a creative soul gone too soon, but hopefully that $1 million scholarship that they spoke about in that piece right there is something that's able to live on too.
I got a feeling it's going to get much bigger. Want to throw a reminder in here. I know we got a commercial on this later in the show, but the Kwanzaa Awards, we'll go ahead and put the link in the comments right now. We've only got 2 days left. Today's the 29th?
Yeah.
So tomorrow is the last day that you can nominate your favorite black business organization or nonprofit for a Kwanzaa Award. I know you frequent a lot of black businesses, organizations, hang with the nonprofits. Great opportunity to nominate them and uplift them for a Kwanzaa Award.
Indeed.
Good stuff. All right. Something that you can relate to here. I mean, you relate to everything, but something you can relate to here firsthand. We got a short video right here of when we landed. This is November 19th, when we landed in Belize City, Belize. You're not in the video because you were shooting video and pictures, but we'll go ahead and play this real quick.
Welcome to Belize, man. Feeling great, and it's warm, and I'm dressed for the weather. I'm ready to get it in. Woo!
Man, it was a great flight. Alaska Airlines treated us real good, very comfortable, man. Came from cold and rain to 80 degrees, man. Looking forward to the rest of the trip. Welcome to Belize, everybody.
You already know we just landed in Belize. Shout out to my guy KJ down in Debonair Report. Keeping us fresh.
Great. Nice and warm and beautiful. Feels good. I feel amazing. It's humid, it's beautiful. It's like a gracious welcome. I'm so excited to see what the rest of this trip has to for.
Production in the building. The production's in the building. Welcome to Belize. How's it feel?
I'm happy to be here. Oh, it feels great. Amazing flight. I'm just so excited to be here. Belize.
All right, so that was hopping off the so me and Grav brought though, so it was 16 people all together, but me and you and Alya, but Alya didn't travel. We go back to the original planning of this trip, which was months ago.
Let's just put this out here. First of all, we were just able to take 16 people down to Belize by the goodness of Alaska Airlines and Belize Tourism Board, but that was such an undertaking. And I wrote it to you yesterday in a text message, and I'll say it in public. Like, you did it, man. That's so freaking cool. And that these companies, really put their money where their mouth was with it and hired a black media company to come down, and do this. How cool is that? We put together some really cool stuff.
Yeah, no, I mean, teamwork makes the dream work, and definitely a heavy lift, but I mean, it was well worth the effort, and excited for people to kind of see all the different stuff that we got going, coming out of there. And there was seven altogether. 6 people got their passport for the first time, and it was 7 people altogether the first time out the country. And so, that itself is transformational when people actually see the world and see things differently and see different cultures. And so, really, I wanted to share this with everybody too, and then we'll move on. We got some headlines and stuff, but Thanksgiving, we had Thanksgiving down there, and Brady McAtee, we actually put this on our social media on Thanksgiving, but we're still in the spirit of giving thanks here. Brady McAtee, our editor, one of our editors, he put this together for Thanksgiving.
The Converge family flew here to Belize almost 1 week ago on a mission to learn about and uplift the mighty Garifuna people and their culture. In the days since we landed, not only have we been immersed in a rich cultural vibrancy, we've braved the surf and dug the sand and ascended to bear witness in ancient cultures and live like true Belizeans. The art, the legacy, the peace, the freedom, the food and the dance, and of course the mighty beating of the talking drum. From the Converge Media family here in Belize City, Belize, to our Converge family in Seattle and around the world, we wish you a happy, happy Thanksgiving.
Put no country above you, cause you teach me the things I need to learn up in my life. Sweet, sweet Belize, I miss you. I can't wait just to.
That was Julia Jesse at Clapback Culture there on the voiceover, huh? Nice spot.
Yeah, sounds good. Looks good. I mean, shoot, I know it was good.
Good stuff. Good stuff. I got one more thing here. We're going to turn it to some more serious things. There was a lot of funky stuff happening, man, unfortunately, while we were gone. But something great yesterday, and people are always asking about him. So I got to catch up with Omi, not the variant, my son, Omi. Just for a few hours while we got here. He was on his way back to school in Chicago. Go ahead and put this up here. And so, yeah, he stopped by the studio yesterday. This was his first time seeing our iconic interview wall. And, I got to spend some quality time with the young man. He's no longer burning down his his struggle meals without the struggle. He got a cool little job out there and everything. So he's not struggling so much. But it's always good when he comes back.
Yeah, I miss that guy. When's he coming back next?
Man, I don't know. We're gonna have to figure it out. I think he'll be back for a week over the break.
That's a good kid right there. I wish that he could have gone, but I'll see him when he comes back next time.
I wish he could have gone too. We're gonna take a quick break right now. We come back. We're on to some more serious headlines here across the city of Seattle. You're watching the Morning Update Show.
Stacey Gordon here on Converge Media, giving you that tip you didn't know you needed for Market Street Shoes over in Ballard. Check this out. Not only do they have great shoes for the summertime, but they have the shoes that you didn't even know you needed for the fall and winter. We all know it not only rains and snows a lot out here, so you definitely need those boots, but you also need a little bit of luggage, or at least a bag to put your clothes in, because let's be frank, we all love to get out of here during the fall and winter and go somewhere a little bit warmer. So whether you need accessories, shoes, or a little bit of luggage to jump on that plane, trust and believe Market Street Shoes has everything that you need. You just need to pull up and find it.
Habari Gani. My name is Noni Irvin, and I am the creator and founder of Kanara Park Kids, as well as the president of our sister nonprofit, Black for Charities, a 501c3 fiscally sponsored by Shunpike. Together, we are hosting the Kwanzaa Awards because it is important that we acknowledge and recognize the contributions and efforts of individuals and organizations who are showing us what the Kwanzaa principles look like throughout the year. Award recipients will be announced in January, 1 week after Kwanzaa holiday. Umoja, unity, means to strive for and to maintain unity in the family, community, nation, and race. We learn how to be in community, in harmony, and in agreement with one another. This doesn't mean we agree on everything, but we figure out what is most important and do it together. This award is for individuals or organizations who are organizing, mobilizing, networking, bringing together, providing platforms or spaces to come together, and the list goes on. The nomination window is open October 1st to November 30th, and yes, you can submit more than one nomination. Eligibility is simple. Individual award recipients must identify as Black, African American, or Pan-African, and organization award recipients must be 100% Black owned if for-profit, or 100% Black led if nonprofit. Visit us at www.kanaraparkkids.com and select Kwanzaa Awards from the homepage or the main menu.
All right, welcome back to the Morning Update Show. My name is Omari Salisbury, joined this morning by G. Rob Brott.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right, so man, this one right here, this was crazy. Like last week, this was Thursday of the previous week. This was the 18th. And the 18th was already crazy because, again, somebody tried to break into these businesses down here, including ours. That's how the day started, and boarding up the door over here. And my daughter had landed from Atlanta on her way to join us for the flight to Belize City. And my mom was heading down here to give her a book. And my mom's always giving people books. And walking just right across the street here. I mean, it's just like less than a few hundred feet. You know, my mom's walking across the sidewalk. The dude was in the car tripping from jump. But then he starts yelling, revving his car at the sidewalk, yelling all kinds of racial slurs at my mom. Then gets out the car, throws this oil. It was like this big. I think maybe the police took it somewhere. Man, hit her in the back with that and everything else, and then rode off. And it was messed up, for lack of other words, because me and Acacia was right here. You know what I'm saying? So you know how that feels to know like somebody's assaulting your mama and just like less than 100 feet away, and you got no idea, you know what I'm saying, of what's happening. And man, play this clip right here, Curtis. This is from King 5.
An attack in downtown Seattle is now being called a hate crime. For the first time, we're hearing from the victim, Reverend Harriet Walden, co-founder of Mothers for Police Accountability.
I was just crossing the street, and he had a problem with melanin.
Reverend Walden was walking near First Avenue and Columbia Street, downtown Seattle, last Thursday. She says that's when a car pulled up next to her and the man inside started yelling racial slurs. She says as she walked away, she was hit by an oil container.
I'm blessed. You know why I'm blessed? Because the only weapon he had in his car was the motor oil. We know so many times people have guns. And so, you know, I'm here today, no obituary needed.
Take a look at the hate crimes in King County over just the last 4 years. These are the cases handled by the King County Prosecutor's Office. And as you can see, there was a spike last year of racially motivated and ethnicity crimes with 40 cases. So far this year, there have been 21.
Man, so, you know, we departed just, you know, hours after that. You know, by the time everything had wrapped up down here, that was into the evening. And I think we were at the airport at 5 a.m. the next day and onto this flight. So I ain't really had a chance to really talk about this too much. And I ain't want to be in some touch and go communications while we were down there, out the country, in service, out of service, and everything else. And you actually walked in quite a few minutes after my mom had sat down.
Literally just a couple of minutes afterwards. And even just in the video, the clip that was just played, one of the things that I gleaned immediately from it was what was kind of to me is one of the most messed up parts about it is that your mom was so calm. Even in studio was very calm. And I thought to myself, like, you know, at least my thoughts to myself were that, like, gosh, she's seen this before, to herself, to other people that she knows, and it becomes a point where, like, having seen something enough, you become, I guess, desensitized to it. And not maybe that's not the right word, but just the demeanor. I was just like, gosh, this should be something that really works somebody up. And what's so messed up is that your mom was able to be so stoic through it. And I thought, like, that is such a travesty ultimately, because it's so messed up that this kind of stuff happens in this day, you know.
Yeah, I mean, let's be clear. You know what I'm saying? My mama at 75 years old, you know, she grew up in a Jim Crow South. She grew up going to colored water fountains in the back of the bus and, you know, and all of this stuff, everything else. This is the first time that she's never been assaulted. And, you know, my mom has been on the front line of civil rights movements for a long time. And she's never been, like, physically assaulted, been called every name in the book, you know. And I mean, the one thing is that she came, when she came in here, I mean, she was clearly upset, you know what I'm saying? She came up in here and she gathered herself together. And I think one of the best things about my mom is that, like, she's like, well, she had a lot of choice words, but there's so many different directions somebody could go, right? There's so many different directions. And even me, you know what I'm saying? 30,000 followers on Twitter is not a lot compared to, like, I don't know, big people in the national news, but a lot for a majority of them follow here in the city. But, you know, her tone, I mean, like, we want justice for sure. You know what I'm saying? We want justice. But, you know, she went at it at a bigger approach of, like, man, why is it that people are more comfortable becoming more and more hateful in this city? And it's just bubbling to the surface of this hate in this city. And, you know, it's something that we in our community, we've seen all along. And last year was a crazy spike, as we saw right there. And big shout out to Casey over there at the King County Prosecutor's Office. But, you know, for pulling a lot of numbers together as to what's going on with hate crimes here in the city. My mama is like 4'11", 75 years old, walks with a cane. You to tell you, man, what's the thought process of people here, you know, in the city? And so then a lot of people were like, well, first in Columbia, it's transient, it's this and that. No, it wasn't a transient, man. These guys are the brand new Subaru. You know what I'm saying? This was our population down here that might be struggling with different things. These are people in a new car, right? So this isn't just, you know, what people might chalk up to some of the crime that happens down here in this area. But man, I don't know, the way that it felt, just knowing just 100 feet away, and there was nothing I could do, and the impact. I mean, man, I'd get anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, anyways, my mom had a press conference. You know, media came out, and I mean, her big thing is like, how can we change the narrative and the messaging here in our city that it's like, man, you know, hate's not okay. And it's like we market everything else, just like we're marketing the you know, people market, get a booster shot, get a vaccine. Hate's not okay in our city.
Absolutely. And I just want to clarify, I hope that it came across as such, that there no downplaying of what just happened to, you know, Mama Walden. Like, her stoicness is just a part of her demeanor, and her she's such a strong, incredible woman. But man, I mean, we were feeling it that day. I remember coming in and immediately being like what was, you know, can we go out and do anything about it? And by that point it was already past. But you know, obviously we love you so much here at Converge, and you literally are family. So thank you for all the work that you do and continue to do, and the way that you continue to shine light on subjects that are not always very easy, Mama Walden. We love you.
Yeah. And so this building, our camera here, we only got we could see her walking across First Avenue. By then, this altercation had already happened, so our camera only got a part of it. The Coleman building here, Unicorn, the Seattle Police Department, the Hate Crimes Unit, has reached out to them and the other building owners over here. Of course, I was gone, so I need to get a follow-up with them to see what's going on. But fortunately, it's an intersection that does have, you know, a lot of cameras, and it was an actual car and not just some random person on the street. So, you know, hopefully there's a license plate, because my mama deserved justice. All these people, victims of hate crimes and other crimes in this city, they deserve justice. And, you know, calling to a higher standard, and, you know, we want in both. We want to call people to a higher standard in our city, and we want justice. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, we need to do better. We need to push back against hate and hateful activities, because it's growing here. And, you know, there's the everyday stuff that just don't get reported. You know, I mean, because I walk downtown, I walk a lot. I'm trying to be like Grav brought over here, and I walk a lot, man. And the stuff that people say to me, or things that are not necessarily a crime, but it's so many things that are just, it's just hateful, you know, of what's happening here in our city. I don't know all the reasons why. I don't have the explanations or whatever, but we see that, man, a lot of people feel that it's okay to have all this bubble to the surface. And so one of the things I'm going to challenge my colleagues here, I got all these brilliant producers and directors and photojournalists here at Converge. Mama said that the media need to do more and make some PSAs and communicate about that. So for us here, I'm going to challenge my team here, see what we can come up with around this messaging, because, man, it's not all right. And dog, I'm glad my mama okay. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, to just be like, right, like, man, the crazy thing is too, is it's like, if it wasn't for people trying to break in down here, these doors would probably be open. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. I say if was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. So it's lots of ifs that are out there. But, you know, like I said, my mom called a press conference. That was Tuesday. And, you know, I mean, a lot of the media picked up on it and everything else. And it's not all right. And this is something also I want to say as well, is that, yeah, I'm biased because that's my mom. I'm supposed to be. But, you know, also an elder. And Converge, we be in strong defense of our elders. Well before, years ago, you talked to the Central Area Senior Center. We stay in defense of our elders. You know, you talk to Age Friendly Seattle. We stay in defense of our elders. And, you know, this isn't also a crime against a Black person. There's a crime against our elders, some of our most cherished people in our society. And, man, it's not all right. And we're not going to rest till we get to the bottom of this.
Absolutely. And I hope that we get to the bottom of it, because, as you said, and, you know, Mama Walden deserves justice, as does everybody who's been the victim of a hate crime.
Yeah, no, for sure. We got a little bit of a short show here today. We just got back getting everything loaded in, but it's an important discussion. I think that when the time is right, we're gonna get my mom down here, and maybe we can get Casey from the prosecutor's office talk about some of these numbers, because until you're able to put a face on what's happening here, until you're able to put a face on it, a lot of people, it's like, it's just numbers. And one thing I will say is this, man, is that one thing that was really one positive thing that came out of this was like the overwhelming support from all kinds, because we're just coming out of an election too. The city is very polarized, man, from left, from right, from indifferent, from whatever. All these different groups and people and everything else, man, really came out, you know what I'm saying, and made their voice heard. There's different organizations and all kinds of stuff from all across the spectrum, which is hopeful, because that means that regardless of your political affiliation, man, that there's no room for hate. And so, it was really good to see so many different people from so many different groups and organizations come out and speak up.
Absolutely. You mentioned that just in the days directly afterwards. And that's one thing that you see with having, a number of people that follow on Twitter and the comments that come back and whatnot. But that was one of those moments that actually seemed to bring people together, at least positively.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm gonna check in with Mama and see. Maybe we can get her down here. Like I said, we can get Casey down there. Maybe some other people impacted by hate crimes. So I think when people can actually put a face to it, people could put a face to my mom as a victim, and it changed the way that they look. So maybe we can work harder at putting a face on what's going on here around hate crimes, and we can address it, because as a city, we need to constantly aspire to live up to our greatness. It's not going to just happen magically. We have to push ourselves and work towards being the great city that we can be, and we have to work at it. We're going to take a quick break right now. When we come back, talk about a few upcoming events, and then I think we're going to get out of here early today. You're watching the Morning Update Show.
On October 23rd, we unveiled the new Converge Media Studios to Stephanie Johnson Tolliver of the Black Heritage Society of Washington State, who, along with Damon Brown of Creative Lou, designed our interview wall with epic images of Seattle's Black community of yesteryear from the late Al Smith's photography collection at Mohi. We often speak about our past, our community, our culture, our traditions. Though times have changed for us here in the Emerald City, Converge Media is firmly rooted in our history and grounded in our legacy while focused on the future. We want to say thank you to all of you who support Converge Media. Just know that you are the difference. You made this studio possible, and because of you, we continue to grow and thrive in our purpose. So be on the lookout for new, impactful, and educational programming from Converge Media. And remember, Black media matters.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
Back on this rap ish, I ain't even broke a sweat, homie, this practice. Pondering my next move, staring at my track list, hope I ain't missing my window. Praying like a Baptist, Seattle's own. Tired of this Game of Thrones. They made a list of the best rappers, and guess who wasn't on? While the disrespect continues, I'm steady packing these venues.
Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media.
From Lincoln Center Theater that brought you The King and I and South Pacific comes a revival of the most perfect musical of all time, My Fair Lady.
Playing the Paramount Theater December 28th to January 2nd. Tickets at stgpresents.com.
Pacific Northwest Ballet is thrilled to be back on stage with your favorite holiday tradition, the Nutcracker. Brighten your holidays with this timeless tale, performed by PNB's incredible company of dancers to the live magic of the PNB Orchestra, playing Tchaikovsky's classic score. Treat your loved ones to the Nutcracker at Seattle Center's McCaw Hall. Tickets and health and safety information at pnb.org.
All right, welcome back to the Morning Update Show. And you see right there, Pacific Northwest Ballet, the Nutcracker. And I'll be honest with you, I saw the Nutcracker. It was 2 years ago now. It was actually down in Houston, Texas. And I took my young daughter, Victoria. She wanted to see the Nutcracker. It was my first ballet. And seeing it, I was like, whoa, you know, they don't talk in the ballet. It's all dance and movement. Have you seen the Nutcracker?
I have not actually. And you know, maybe that's the year to change it this year.
I mean, you're the most limber person I know. You guys don't realize Jake's like 6'6" or more or something over here. And this guy is limber, is on his toe. That's how he gets all those crazy shots. But yeah, so the Nutcracker is actually playing right now. I think the first day was the 26th. It's through most of December. And the Pacific Northwest Ballet, man, just really being intentional and being like, you know what? Let's reach out to Converge. Let's reach out to this audience. Let's reach out to, you know, to other media groups, because the ballet is for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Although I'm not much of a dancer, so you know, I'm gonna come into it just purely as a fan of, wow, that looks great, because I sure ain't gonna ever be able to do that myself.
All right, so we're gonna be going to the ballet, and we're gonna be taking you guys with us. So we just got back, so we got to figure out what the campaign mechanics are gonna be. But we're giving away some tickets to go to the ballet to see the Nutcracker. It's gonna be me, Jake Gravrot, Trey Holiday, Basa Gordon, and a bunch of you guys. And we want to really, you know what I'm saying, share the experience with you. And like I said, the Pacific Northwest Ballet, they've been real cool. And they're really trying to like see, man, what kind of amazing experiences that some of our viewers can have.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to them for putting it out there with us.
Yeah, no, I'm good. He said you can't dance.
I mean, no, I can't.
Not that kind of. And by the way, man, listen, a ballerina, people who do ballet, first of all, they're strong. Like they are. You wouldn't believe how strong you have to be to be in a ballet. It's real deal. And then hella endurance too. They got so much endurance. It's a great show. Like I said, I never thought that I would see myself going to see the Nutcracker. I mean, it always looked cool. And you know, the Nutcracker, the different characters are probably some of the most notable things around Christmas season. Whether you've never seen it or not, you kind of know like the Nutcracker. But I never thought that I would go see it. Once I saw it with my daughter, you know, I'm like, yo, the ballet is cracking, you know, so it's a good thing.
Nutcracking.
Yeah, the ballet is nutcracking. There you heard it from Gravrot first. So we'll be getting back to you guys in the next few days about ticket giveaways and everything else. Mr. Delgado, please put the link in the comments over there for people who want to go ahead and purchase tickets to the Nutcracker. They can go ahead and do that. We're out of here a little bit early, Mr. Gravrot. You know, we're ramping up for a big news week coming up this week. I'm going to reach out to my buddy, Justin Carter over there at Capitol Hill Seattle blog, so we can get an update of what's going on with the Sawant recall. Ballots are out. The last thing I checked, we were down in Belize. It was a low turnout thus far. I think last thing I saw was like 16% of the eligible voters had voted. So we're going to get an update on the Sawant recall, and then a few other things that I want to talk to you guys about. We'll talk more about it tomorrow, though. Some homicides that occurred, and we want to touch base on that, unfortunately. But then also on the flip side, uplifting a lot of Black businesses as well, and community events. I know that Salmon and Basa Gordon went over and checked in with KJ at Debonair Decor, so we'll probably be running with that tomorrow as well. So lots of stuff lined up this week. We got a bunch of surprises. You know, we haven't been heavy on news lately, so we're getting ready to ramp up for all of our news hounds out there. We're going to ramp up with that. Plus, we got lots of great content coming back from Belize, and we're going to be sprinkling you guys with that for a while. Jake, we're getting ready to get out of here. Any last words?
I think I just want to hit back on what we spoke about with your mom's piece. I don't think that it should just be Black people and Asian people and gay people and trans people who are sounding the alarm about hate crimes. It needs to be people like me, and it needs to be people like you, and it needs to be people that may have not actually ever experienced it yourself, because hate is not okay. I know that the saying of hate has no place here is seen literally everywhere, but we have to make sure that it is known and heard. And so whatever kind of platform you've got, I will challenge myself to do that exact same thing by putting it out there and just making it known that, hey, this kind of stuff is not okay. It's not acceptable in our society. It's not acceptable anywhere. You speak about humanity, and from me to you to any other person out there, we are human beings, and we need to treat each other with the kind of dignity and respect that you deserve by being a human being.
Amen to that, Jake. Definitely. Amen, brother. On that note, like I said, we're continuing to follow up, and we will continue to follow up here on this crime. And we also want to be able to give a platform to other people. We need to put a face on the people who are victims of these crimes here in our city, so they don't just become another number and a statistic. And I think this is an opportunity to do that. My mama always says, look for the good in things. What good can possibly come out of this? And so maybe those are some of those things there. Want to stay on top of that. But we're going to get out of here. And on that note, want to remind you, go forward in your purpose, go forward in your humanity. It's good to be back here in the studio. Until 11 a.m. tomorrow, peace.
Lift every voice and sing till earth in heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun.